think it's safe to assume the Mets want both Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz back. I mean, David Stearns has said so himself, but there has to also be a plan B in place. Emmanuel, where do the Mets turn if Alonso signs elsewhere?
Swing big. You replace a guy with about 250 career homers for a guy with 350 career homers in Kyle Schwarber. I think you replace the production there. There's your DH for the next few years. Maybe you sprinkle in some first base over time. I know some rumors and rumblings about Juan Soto possibly toying around with first base over the years. But you can add another DH to this team provided Alonso's not on it. Kyle Schwarber is a more prolific power hitter. 3 40-homer seasons in the last 4 years, averaging 47 bombs. This guy fits perfectly. You know he could play in a big market, and this is the type of flair the Mets need in the middle of that order to coincide with Lindor, coincide with Juan Soto, and you steal from a division rival for good measure. I think this is the way you fight thunder with thunder. You lose a franchise player, go and get an even better power hitter in Kyle Schwarber.
It's going to be a huge payday, though, for him to leave Philly, though. Absolutely.
I pay up.
Oh, you got to spend to get Harp. You know?
Well, I'm not against it. I think it's a perfect fit, but Philly wants him bad to come back.
I'll pay him. Send a message to your division rival.
750s?
750 million?
Is that where you're
going? We going Soto money from last year?
No.
You're going any money for Kyle Schwarber.
And
I like the Japanese slugger Munetaka Murakami. This is an interesting opportunity for teams to get a young slugger. He's only 20. He's going to play at 26. Yes. He'll play at 26 next season. And look, he broke Sadaharu Oh's home run record single season, 56 in 2022 for a Japanese-born player. So this is a guy with a really big upside here, and I think the Mets, could get a little bit younger with this move if Alonso doesn't work out in the end, and get him. Look, I know he's a left-handed hitter, and maybe they could move on from a left-handed hitter. We'll get to that in a little bit here. So they're not too left-handed, but I think this will be a turn 2, baby. We're going to turn 2. We're going to trade everybody.
Right.
But I think this is look, the Mets were really in obviously on Yamamoto because of his youth. Obviously, he's a pitcher. It's a different case, but the age is the thing I'm looking at here. And he was a young pitcher. This is a young slugger. It's a good opportunity for the Mets and every other team in MLB.
He's intriguing, no doubt, but he strikes out a ton. You didn't mention that. At least I didn't hear it.
No, I kept that under wraps, just because.
And he's a really bad defender.
He's going to play first base. Oh, they're really improving run prevention by keeping Pete Alonso at first?
No. This isn't.
I know, a little harsh.
I like it. No,
yeah,
I like
it. Harsh but accurate.
This is if they don't get Alonso. You're saying. I'm just saying, defense and strikeouts are a big problem. That's why I'm going for the other Japanese free agent, Okamoto, Kaz Okamoto. He doesn't have the power of, what's your guy's name, Murakami?
Yes.
But he's a 300 hitter in Japan. He does have some power, and he's a much better defensive player. Doesn't strike out nearly as much as Murakami either. So I think he'd be a solid guy there. The problem is, you look at the options on the free agent market for first base right now. There's just not a lot out there. So you'd almost have to turn to one of these Japanese guys, unless you can get Bellinger. Bellinger would be he comes in, he's a perfect fit. Otherwise, it's a guy like Ryan O'Hearn, somebody like that. And I didn't hear who's playing first base if you go out and get.
Have some Vientos, have some Soto, have some Schwarber. I just care about the power production.
Schwarber can't play first.
He toyed around with it in spring training.
Neither can Alonso.
No, at least Alonso can play a little bit. I like your idea, though, as far as replacing the power.
Right.
That's my biggest issue with letting Pete go.
But you still need a first baseman.
Yeah, but you could plug and play somebody at first base, not Vientos.
Where you getting 126 RBIs? That's what I'm. You're exactly right.
Production. And Schwarber was toying around with first over in Philly, but they had a first baseman in Bryce Harper, who, by the way, moved over to first base. So
the
it can be
ideal
done.
combination is Schwarber and Bellinger, but I don't. That's a.
It's also now you're
really spending a lot of money there.
A lot of lefties as well with Soto, Bellinger, Schwarber. How about Diaz? And if Diaz goes elsewhere, what's the Mets' option there?
Well, to me, Robert Suarez profiles as the next top-of-the-market closer guy there, and I think that they should add, if Diaz goes, add Suarez. Is one of the best fastballs in the game, and has been very consistent since he has emerged as a top-flight closer. But I don't think you stop there. And I think we've seen this in the past couple days with the word out there that the Mets have been thinking about a Diaz-Devin Williams combo in the bullpen. But that's when you seek to create a super bullpen. You get Suarez, and then you add again to him Iglesias. I got a whole list here. Pete Fairbanks. Get these guys in there so you can really shut down the bullpen, lock it down out there in the relief corps, because they didn't have that last year, and they have a lot of work to do there.
Suarez is certainly an option, and he'd be an option if you can't bring Diaz back. I think if you talk to San Diego people, though, he's not as consistent as you might think. He gave up some big home runs for the Padres, not the least of which was Bryce Harper's in the postseason at that time. But he's probably the best option other than Devin Williams, my man Devin Williams.
Well, I mean, that's
your man.
I just know he doesn't want him. So
no, you better be 100% sure that New York wasn't an issue there.
Well,
I don't care about
I'll tell you, the way he came out of it and pitched at the end of the year gives you a lot of hope that he can do it.
That's fair.
He comes back and he pitched really well in the postseason. He's still got that elite changeup. I think he could be a guy that could be the closer.
What about Kirby Yates, Harp? Is that still your guy?
He was my guy last year. Now he's been replaced by Ranger Suarez, but he doesn't fit into this category. Yates got hurt. That was the problem.
I think Ranger Suarez is definitely your guy. He takes the cake on the list. But I love Robert Suarez at the back end of the bullpen, plus a shorter-term deal, 35 years old.
Right.
You're not committing long-term to back-end relief, which I know the Mets would like to avoid if possible. So you're getting one of the best closers in baseball, comparable, not quite Edwin Diaz, but close to it. And your man, Devin Williams, turn him from a renter into a buyer. He loves New York. Let him stay in New York.